Alright, welcome everybody. Let's work on the second part of the take-home exam review. So it says solve the following exponential equation for t, round your solutions to 3 decimal places. So here, if we have this equation and we want to get t by itself, if we want to, let's zoom in a little bit. If I want to solve for t, how do you get t by itself? So what I want you to do is pause the video and try and do this question by yourself, and note you're going to need a calculator to be able to solve these questions. All right, so for the first part, what we want to do is we want to somehow get this t by itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by 70, okay? So notice that this 70 and this 70 cancel out. So then you're left with 6 over 70 on one side, whatever that is equal to 1/2 t over to the 1/2 to the t over 3. Okay. Now, once you get to this point, how do you get rid of this 1/2 so you can just get this t over 3 by itself? And we just have to remember a little rule that if I have log base a to the x, this is equal to x. And what do I mean by this? That if you log some base a with the same base here, it cancels out and you're just left with the exponent. So then what would be the winning move to get rid of this 1/2? What you're going to do is you're going to log 1/2 on both sides, right? And that's what this idea means over here, that if these two are the same, right, they get canceled through the logarithm. And so here this cancels, so you're just left with t over 3. And then what does this equal over here? This, let's see. What is log of base 1/2 6 over 70? I have no idea what that is, but the calculator does. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to alpha window, and then we're going to go to log base, and we're just going to put in these fractions over here. And how do you put in a fraction? All you need to do is you hit alpha y equals, you hit n over d. And notice that I could put a fraction now into logarithm. So I put 1 over here, I put 2 over here, and then I go to inside the logarithm. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a fraction in there, and then I'm going to have 6 over 70. And what do I get as a number? I get 3.544, okay? So here, notice that this is equal to 3.544, right? And that's equal to t over 3. So here, and remember the question is saying round to 3 decimal places, right? So from here, how do you get t by itself? What you're going to do is you're going to multiply 3 on both sides, right? So then you just multiply this by 3, and then your answer should be 10.633, right? Because there's a 9 here, you're going to round that to a 3. So then it says t is equal to 10.633, okay? And that's what t is equal to. And what does this mean? Let's look at the original equation. Like, how would you check your work? Notice that the question is saying that 70 times 1/2 to the t over 3, right? Oh, I'm sorry, over here. If you look at it, it's saying 70 times 1/2 to the t over 3 is equal to 6. So what's that value of t when you plug it in that it makes this side equal to 6? It's equal to 10.633. So what we're going to do is, just to check, let's put this into our calculator. Let's do 70 times 1/2 to the 10.633 over 3. And hopefully this will give us something very close to 6. And this notation over here, this like equal sign squiggly, means very close, right? Okay. So here, let's do it. How would I put this into the calculator so hopefully it does equal 6? So what we're going to do is we're going to do 70 parentheses. Let's put in the 1/2. So 1 divided by 2. And then here, parentheses. And then what am I going to hit to get to the exponent? You just hit this symbol over here. And then we're going to put in another fraction over here. And we're going to put 10.633 divided by 3, and then hopefully this gives us something very close to 6, and it does. It gives us 5.99999, so it's very close to 6, right? What I want you to do is try and do this question by yourself. right? You can do this. Okay, so if you want to see how it's done, what are we going to do? The first move is divide both sides by 35, right? Okay, so this is 35. And now what do we have? We have 10 over 35 is equal to 3 to the 5 over t. Now, how do I get rid of this 3 so I just have this 5 over t? What you want to do is you want to log base 3 both sides. Notice that when you log base 3 over here, these two are the same thing that we did over here, right? We wanted to cancel that 1/2, so what did we do? We log base the half on both sides. Here we want to get rid of this 3 to isolate the t, so we log base 3 both sides, and this cancels. So now we're left with 5 over t over here, and that's equal to log base 3 of 10 over 35. And now, I don't know what this is, but what you could do is you just put it into the calculator and it will solve it for you. So here, let's see, this is second window. Oh, sorry, that's not it. What we do is alpha window, and this is log base 3, alpha y equals 10 over 35. And what does that equal? It's negative 1.140. So this is negative 1.140 is equal to 5 over t, right? And then how do you solve this equation? You cross multiply, so negative 1.140 t is equal to 5. And then how do you get t by itself? You divide both sides by negative 1.140, negative 1.140. And let's see, what is this equal to? So 5 divided by negative 1.140, and that equals t is equal to negative 4.386. Okay, because you're going to round that 5 up because there's a 9 here. And yeah, and that's your answer for 14. Okay. What about the next one? Let's see. Okay, last one, and then I'm sure you could do this one by yourself. Here we have 540e to the 4.7t is equal to 2060. This question here. So how would you solve this question? What would you do? You want to get this t by itself, right? So the first move is you want to try and just get the e by itself here. So here what we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by 540. And divide this by 540, so this 540 cancels and you're left with e to the 0.47t is equal to 2060 over 540. And if you want, you could simplify it, but you could also leave it like this. So then, once you get to this point, what's the move to kind of get rid of this e? Well, before, how did we get rid of the 1/2? We did log base a half. How did we get rid of the 3? We did log base 3. So here, it seems natural that you're going to say log base e on both sides, and that's correct, but also notice that log base e is also the same as ln. And I'll explain what this means in a second. So notice that if this is log base e, this cancels, right? And then what are you left with? You're left with 0.47t is equal to whatever this is. So let's see what this is when we put it into the calculator. Here we're going to go alpha window, we go to log base, and then how do you put in e into your calculator? What you're going to do is you're going to hit, notice that if you look at the division symbol over here, and if you look at that symbol, there's an e. So you just hit second the division symbol, and then you have log base e here. And then what do I want to put in? I want to put in this fraction, so alpha y equals n over d, so 2060 divided by 540, and what does that equal? It equals 1.339. So this is 1.339, right? And let's go back to this ln business here. You see here, once you have, let's just do this part again. You see here, notice that, what did we have? We had e to the 0.47t equals 2060 over 540. And then how did we get rid of this e? What did we do? We did log base e on both sides. But from now on, we need to get used to the idea of, notice that ln is the same as log base e. So anytime you see an e, instead of doing the log base e, which is correct, from now on you have to get used to the idea of ln. So here you're going to just do ln on both sides. And you see this ln is the log base e, so this cancels. And then ln of this number should be the same as the log base e of this number. So let's just do this in our calculator just to double check that we get 1.339. And here, where is ln on your calculator? It is over here, next to the 4. So you just hit ln, right? Now we're going to put in the fraction. This is alpha y equals n over d, and then 26d over 540. And notice that you get the same answer over here, right? That 1.339. So from now on, anytime we see e, we're going to use ln. And anytime you see ln, you have to think that ln is equal to log base e. Okay? And then how do you finish off the problem? How do you get t by itself? You just divide both sides by 0.47. So t is equal to whatever this calculation is. So let's do 1.339 divided by 0.47, and that equals 2.849, right? Okay. And then how can you check to see that this value actually works? Remember, you just plug it into the original equation. So what was the original equation? It was 540 e to the 0.47 times t, right? So instead of t, let's just check real quick. Let's put 2.849, and this should be very close to 2060, right? So let's put this into the calculator and see if we actually do get this. Okay, so hopefully this will work. Let me fix the camera angle, and that's good. All right, so here, let's put it in. Here we do 540, and then we're gonna have second divide to get the e. Then we put the parentheses up here, and then we're gonna put in a fraction. Oh no, no fraction, I'm sorry. We're gonna do, let's try that again. So 540, second e to the 0.47 times 2.849, and notice that when you hit enter, it gets very close to 2060, and that's what we wanted, right? Yeah, it gets very close to 2060. Okay, try and do the next question by yourself. Good luck.